Alright guys, today we're going to do primer bulb and fuel lines on a Husqvarna 125B handheld blower. I'll put the kit that you'll be using in the description below. I did a video previously on how to diagnose your blower. You look that up, see what is exactly wrong with it. First thing we're going to go ahead and do is take off the air filter cover. Air filter. We got two 8mm nuts inside that we're going to take off. Now, there's a link in the description below. It's got carburetor, everything you'll need for this. You can swap the whole carb out and everything in this job very easily. Quick, fast, done. All right. Super cheap too. Two 8mm, pop them out just like that. Put the choke to on position and that'll pull out. You see the fuel lines are connected to this still. Everything seems to be connected and fine, but we're going to change them out anyways. We're going to go ahead. There's two tabs on the back of this. Here, let me turn the light on. You would just squeeze them together to pop this out, but it's bad, so it's not even a big deal. Just grab it with a pair of pliers, rip it out. This one's going. Don't worry about the fuel lines either. We're changing all of them out, so don't worry about where they're going. I'm going to show you that in this video. Pair of needle nose. Grab this fuel filter back in here, or fuel line, I mean, right back in there, and remove it. You may need to get in and break it free a little bit here and then pull it out. Go ahead and remove this fuel line from that side, get it out of there. We're trying to do this without actually removing the carburetor. To take the carburetor out, we'd have to take this recoil off and this whole side cover off and get to the trigger assembly, you know, where the carb hooks up, you know, the linkage hooks up to the carb, so we can get the carb out of there. We're going to do it without doing that. We're going to get a little flathead screwdriver, like that just pulled out. A little flathead screwdriver up underneath this and pry that out. Shove it under there, pry it out. See, yeah, the fuel line was broken. There's no filter on it. That's why this thing wasn't running. Take the gas cap, pull it out. It just pulls straight out. Drain all the gas out of it and get any debris out of it. Completely clean the tank. If you have to use some carb cleaner, rinse it out, or use air, which is what I'm going to do, and blow it all up. Oh, all right, the grommet. Took all the fuel lines out of it. We're going to go with the thinner fuel line. It's the thinner of the two. To a point. We're going to push it through the thinner of the two holes. Through about 6 inches and then cut it off, cut the tip off. Like that. Then we're going to stab the fuel filter onto this one. Like that. And then, you know, cut it about 6 inches above the grommet. That's going to give it plenty of room. It's literally only going to go right to this nipple here. That's your fuel inlet right there. All right. Now we're going to go with the fat fuel line. Put it to a point. Shove it through the grommet on the big hole. And then this one you only have to just pull straight through. It could be this long. It doesn't know specific length. Just has to be through the rubber grommet. This line we're going to go ahead and leave along. It goes to the primer bulb itself. So we're going to stick this back in the tank. We're going to get that filter down on the bottom. Push the grommet in. Alright, grommet's all the way in. Filter is on the bottom like that. We're going to stab this on this thin line onto this nipple here. So you're going to cut it to length that you need and stab it right on. Just like that. Here, let me give you a little flashlight here. There, just like that. Alright. This line is a return line. So this is going to go to the long nipple on the primer ball. That goes back into the tank. But first, let's go ahead and stab this end here on this end of the this nipple of the carburetor. This will pull out a little bit so you can get to it, and you just use needle nose. I use curved over needle nose like that to get it in. See what you're doing right through this hole here. Stab it right on. I got it basically on a loop like this. This line here is going to the big nipple on the primer ball. This one here will go to the short nipple on the primer bulb. So what we're going to do is we're going to install our air filter assembly. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get our gasket back on here. The gasket back on. We're going to install the air filter assembly. We're just going to put the fuel line right in it and make sure it's off to the one side so that it doesn't get pinched in the carburetor. Push the choke arm through. Do whatever you got to do to get that fuel line. If you got to, just bring the fuel line right off to the side like that. And then get this pushed in. Then we're going to take fuel line, get it in there, this fuel line in here. So this fuel line right here is the one that goes to the short one. This one goes to the long nipple. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cut the line and put it on the nipple. Again, the one that goes to the bottom carburetor goes, or bottom to the gas tank is the long nipple. One goes to the top of the carburetor right here is the short nipple. So it's going to pull fuel, the short one suction. It's going to pull fuel from the tank through the carburetor into the primer bulb and then back into the tank. And that's how it's going to prime. Now we're going to go ahead, cut this to length, put it on the long nipple. This one goes back here to this part of the carburetor. Like that. I'm sorry, I'm not trying not to be confusing, and you know, I've only been doing these videos for about a year. I'm sure that I'll get much better at the videoing processes as I go, you know, and all that stuff. So you just push that in until it clicks. That's all the way in. Now the two 8mm nuts, we're going to put them in. Just going to get them started at first. We're going to double check and make sure our fuel line's not getting pinched. It looks like it's in a good spot there. It's not behind this air filter assembly. It's just nice and loosely sitting in there. Everything looks good, you know, in the back. Just want to make sure we're not pinching it at all. Then we're going to tighten them down. Before we get any further on this, we're going to dump some gas in here and prime up the system. Make sure everything's hooked up properly. Gas in there. So this will let us know if it's, you know, any kink lines, like when you push this primer ball, if it stays stuck in, it usually means that the suction lines, you know, clogged or pinched. If it doesn't push in very easy, it means the other line, you know, the return line is click. Oh, it's starting to suck. Oh yeah. If it doesn't prime, it could be the lines are backwards or something. You got something hooked up wrong. But this primed right up. This he's actually looking good so far. I'm going to go ahead and put the gas cap on. This just squeezes and shoves into place. No big deal. Alright, we're going to see if it runs. It may not run. You know, I just did the fuel lines and primer bulb, and cross your fingers. It doesn't have to cost the customer a little bit more money, that's all. So it tried firing up, and then it just wouldn't even try firing up anymore. More than likely, this is a carburetor issue. Gonna have to replace the carburetor. I am going to try to adjust the carburetor. I'll do another video on that. It'll be the right hand screw. I'll go counterclockwise. Actually, the left hand screw I'll crack just counterclockwise, and then I'll try it, and then I'll go on the right hand one counterclockwise. If this helped you out in any way, shape, or form, first air filter. cover. That's fuel lines and primer bulb, guys. This helped you out in any way, shape, or form, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I'll put the whole kit with the carburetor and everything right in the description below. It's super cheap. And I mean, you got it apart. Just take this and this off so you can get to the throttle linkage, and you're doing the carburetor as well. Alright guys, if you want to do any advertising on my channel, message me. I'll be more than happy to have you. Peace.